Harvey Weinstein is expected to appear in court today as his trial for rape and sexual assault officially gets underway this week. Allegations against the Hollywood giant first came to light in 2017 and helped spark the Me Too movement. Weinstein is facing formal charges for just 2 alleged incidents, but some of the dozens of other women who have accused the disgraced movie mogul are also expected to testify. Jerika Duncan reports.
I feel very emotional.
Actress Rosanna Arquette says she never thought she would see Harvey Weinstein face a jury. Arquette appeared in the 1994 Weinstein-produced film Pulp Fiction. In 2017, she told The New Yorker that in the early 90s, Weinstein forcibly came on to her in a hotel room, and when she rejected him, her career suffered.
Harvey Weinstein plays dirty. He always has, and I guess he always will.
Arquette spoke to us alongside Jasmine Loeb and Louise Godbold. The women are not involved in Weinstein's trial, but say they are survivors of his sexual misconduct.
So many people have stepped forward and said this happened to us too, something similar.
We do not want this man roaming around, and we have to bring it back to that.
The 67-year-old is charged with predatory sexual assault and first and third-degree rape for 2 separate incidents. He has pleaded not guilty and denies all allegations of non-consensual sex. CBS News legal analyst Ricky Kleeman.
What matters the most here is the charge of predatory sexual assault. If that becomes the charge that carries the day, he is facing 10 years to life.
In a statement, Weinstein told CBS News, quote, "There are a number of things that I would have liked to have done differently, and I do empathize with those who feel hurt. However," he added, "I am looking forward to setting the record straight, and yes, I am expecting to be fully exonerated."
Is that something you guys worry about? If he is not convicted of these crimes, that he will come back?
Yes, I think it's totally possible.
I want to say to the witnesses, thank you for testifying. Just tell your truth. And whatever happens, pray that justice will prevail.
So attorney Deborah Blum joins me now to talk more about what we can expect from this trial as it gets underway this week. So we just heard in that story, Deborah, that Ricky Kleeman said predatory sexual assault. That's the charge to watch. She said it carries a pretty heavy sentence if he's convicted. But what is predatory sexual assault?
Well, first I want to focus on the fact that Harvey Weinstein is on trial for 2 sex acts against 2 women, or five charges. But what I want to focus on is the fact that he's not on trial for the 80 women that have accused him of sexual harassment and predatory behavior over a period of decades. One of the women alleges that he raped her, but then she continued to reach out to him to spend time together. As a woman, I've had the misfortune of having an uncomfortable experience with a man, and I went out of my way to never see him again, and I certainly didn't reach out to him to initiate plans. So the jury needs to focus on the 5 charges that they have before him. He could be guilty of 20 other rapes and 20 other criminal acts, but the prosecution has to meet their burden of proving each and every element beyond a reasonable doubt. Lewd comments are not a crime, but 4 sex acts are, and the prosecution, to get a guilty conviction or a guilty to the actual top count, they would need to prove that he previously committed a first-degree rape and a first-degree sex act.
So is that why we might be hearing from some of the other women, the other accusers, though clearly whatever they had to say didn't rise to the level of being included in this case? They could be witnesses.
Well, those charges stem from the early 90s. One victim, alleged victim, is saying that he raped her in the early 1990s, and 3 other women say that he committed 4 sex acts against them during the 2000s. So those are called uncharged acts, and they're going to be used for the prosecution to try to show that he did commit these types of behavior before. It wasn't a mistake, that there's a pattern, it wasn't an accident.
Okay, so then let's look to his defense. And you kind of sort of touched on how, these cases can be pretty complicated, and what seems like a clear-cut, what may seem clear-cut when someone's just telling their story might seem very sort of fuzzy once you're on the stand in a trial. So what do you suppose his defense is going to be?
Well, the defense is going to rely heavily on Judge Burke's determination pertaining to the evidence. They're going to say that the prosecution did not meet one of the elements, specifically forcible compulsion, which is required for 4 of the charges that he's facing. So they're going to say that mere touch is not enough to convict him, and that's a question of law for the judge. It's not something that really the jury will also have to determine it, but it's possible that the judge could dismiss certain crimes if he feels that the women that testify don't make out that element. And his defense is going to say that they've given prior comments in the media and they've never alleged the amount of necessary force according to the law.
So how difficult do you think it's going to be to find a jury? I mean, I can't imagine a more high-profile case that has, in a way, been tried in the court of public opinion. I mean, it sparked a movement that went beyond just this country.
Right. Well, the defense is going to look to find jurors that will agree that if the glove doesn't fit, they have to acquit, because it's really about proving each and every element of the crimes charged. They're going, I think, to look for affluent men to be a part of the jury that can sympathize, I guess, for lack of a better word, with Epstein, because his argument is, look, another.
Yeah, that's another one. Yeah.
They're going to say that his behavior was deplorable, but that doesn't necessarily equate to a criminal act.
Right. Well, yeah, the whole world will be watching this one closely. Deborah, thank you so much.
Thank you.